Combs, you brought it up. Was it Tuesday's show where like you're like, hey, what about Julio Jones to the package? That makes sense. Package him for Jordan Love. Like that team would be great. But now there has been let me put massive air quotes around this. Massive air quotes. There was a leaked trade offer for Julio Jones from the Tennessee Titans, and it was basically just a first round pick. And the reason why I want to put leaked out there and like in those air quotes, because these things just don't leak out. So Tori, what is your first initial thoughts on this leaked trade offer from the Tennessee Titans for Julio Jones?
To me, it's the leak is somebody trying to drive up his value even more. So somebody comes up and say, well, they offered a first round pick. Well, that means if I offer a first and like a fourth or a fifth rounder, I could probably get him instead. To me, all it is, it's just driving up his price. It's somebody probably from within the Atlanta Falcons organization that said that, yeah, they offered a first round pick. And next thing you know, they got an offer of a first round pick. And so all that they're doing is trying to maximize what they can get for a player, knowing full well that they are going to trade him.
Yeah, so this reminds me of the paper that was placed on the New England Patriots desk. That was a draft day trade for Jordan Love, right? I mean, so like this has that kind of vibe all over it 100%. Combs, what are your first initial thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't think it means much. I think that we saw a tweet the other day from their wide receiver there. I can't think of his name right off.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. Yeah, he tweeted right at Julio and said, "Hey, look, you said you want to win. Come play with me." And so I don't know that it was leaked because there's a lack of interest. Because if there's a lack of interest in Julio Brown, then something's wrong. I mean, Julio Brown instantly makes a contender a Super Bowl threat.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. Sorry, I was thinking AJ Brown. Yeah, Julio Brown. Yeah, Julio Brown. That's my new
is the newest receiver in the league.
That's gonna be my new TikTok alias, Julio Brown. Anyway, so Julio Jones. If there's no interest in Julio Jones, then something's wrong. Like Julio Jones instantly makes, like I said, makes a division contender a Super Bowl contender, like plain and simple. So if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm going after him. Buffalo's a very interesting play. The Indianapolis Colts, I'm going after him. There's really not a spot. Hell, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm cutting Antonio Brown and going after Julio Jones. Like there's not a spot out there where he wouldn't fit and look good. I can't think of one team where he shouldn't go to other than, the obvious basement dwellers like the Jets or the Jaguars.
Yeah, so the one thing that comes to mind when this league trade is offered, and there is definitely interest for Julio Jones, right? I mean, there's 100% like interest because, just like what Combs said, he instantly makes a team Super Bowl contender if they're not the New York Jets. But the problem is I think the price is so high for a 35, 36-year-old receiver. Like I gotta know how old he is.
He's not that old.
He's 32.
But either way,
but still, he's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, 32-year-old player in the NFL. You're on the backside of the hill.
Yeah,
I mean, just so. You are wanting 2 first-round picks.
Don't tell Tom Brady
that. Quarterbacks are a different story here, but nobody wants to give that much up for an aging wide receiver that basically has a. So you have a 2-year.
Dude, if you're the Chicago, absolutely.
Come on
if I'm the Chicago Bears GM, I would absolutely give up a couple of first-round picks for Julio Jones. He instantly makes you a contender. Instantly.
So you're telling me that Andy Dalton and Julio Jones is Super Bowl contender?
I'm telling you
that is what you just said.
That Justin Fields and Julio Jones make the Bears a Super Bowl contender. Yes.
So therefore, Andy Dalton's a top 15 quarterback in the league, right?
No, I said Justin Fields and Julio Jones.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Andy Dalton.
especially with Allen Robinson on the other side of it. I mean, that would be a hell of a tandem. They might be good enough to win with Andy Dalton at that point.
My thing is with that kind of asking price, I agreed. Like, you don't give up a first round pick. What did the Patriots give up for Randy Moss at about that same age?
I can't remember.
Fourth round pick. The Patriots gave up a fourth round pick to get Randy Moss. Randy Moss still had a
who did they trade? Who did they trade to get him? Who did they trade from?
It was,
Who did
I
who?
believe it was the Raiders that he got.
It was the Raiders, yeah.
Exactly. That's why they got him for a fourth round pick, because it was the Raiders. If Randy Moss is with any other team, he commands at least a second round pick at that point.
The
in his
Raiders
career.
were good.
Let's be honest.
The Raiders were top of the division.
Raiders organization has been the same since. The Raiders organization has been the same since like the 1980s. The same guys running it, the same guys making the calls, the same guys making stupid trades like that.
31 other teams didn't make an offer of at least a third round pick then?
Oh,
that's to say they went for probably the best pick that they could get. And that's where I think I love Julio.